Hello lovely viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this video, we shall be presenting to you the detailed analysis, summary, major themes, and major characters of the book The Concubine by Elechi Amadi. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. The concubine, by definition, is a woman who in some societies lives and has sex with a man she is not married to and has a lower social rank than his wife or wives. The title of the book, The Concubine, is symbolic, as its meaning is only revealed to the readers in the closing chapters of the novel. It becomes clear that the concubine is none other than Ihuoma, the beautiful lady and main character of the novel, who is believed to be the wife of the Sea King, who is jealous and kills any man who falls in love with her. However, it is revealed that if some rites are performed and the Sea King is persuaded, then he could allow someone to live with her as his concubine and not his wife. Thus, the name, the concubine. That is the reason Emenike, Madume, and Ekwueme died, since they tried to live with her as a wife and not as a concubine. The author says, well, she could be someone's concubine. Her Sea King husband can't be persuaded to put with that after highly involved rites, but as a wife, he is completely ruled out. Let's move to the setting of the novel. The novel is set in pre-colonial rural Nigeria, and the author mainly talks about African traditional ways of life in its totality, bringing together all aspects that constitute the life of a rural community, including, but not limited to, its religious, social, cultural, and economic practices. To sum up the rural setting, the following have been used to build the African authenticity and put events in their relevant African setting. A number of Nigerian villages have been mentioned. Villages such as Omukachi, Chiolu, Aliji, and Omigwe. Traditional practices like belief in witch doctors, the role of supernatural spirits on human life, gathering for night dances at the village arena, traditional marriages like early childhood betrothal, polygamy, spouse beating, taboos, and dressing styles such as using wrappers constitute a rural setting. Economic activities like farming, hunting, or trapping wild animals and selling their agricultural produce at seasonal markets. Time telling is also done by looking at the length of the shadows or the position of the sun during the day, and at night they depend on the moon sight or the cockcrow. They also tell time by counting the number of market days to come or past market days. Fetching water from the stream and living in thatched houses also tell more about the rural setting. Let's now move to the plot of the novel. The plot of the novel, The Concubine, is chronologically divided into 30 chapters narrated in a straightforward narration with few flashbacks. It shows how Madume's fight with Emenike is attributed to the later death of Emenike. This makes Ihuoma a widow, and Madume wants to use this opportunity to weigh Ihuoma. As she refuses his advances, on one particular day, he tries to stop her from harvesting the plantain from the land that caused argument between him and Emenike. In the process, a cobra spits in his eyes, resulting to his blindness and death. Ekwueme, the young man, takes over wooing Ihuoma. After silently trying to win Ihuoma's approval and a discouragement from Ihuoma, he finally marries Ahulore, a girl betrothed to him from childhood. The marriage doesn't work, and in the process of mending it by applying a love potion, it breaks completely apart, and Ihuoma finds herself submissive to the proposal of Ekwueme. However, divine inquiry suggests that it will be a misfortune for Ekwueme to marry Ihuoma, as she was a wife of the Sea King, who was responsible for the death of Emenike and Madume. Ekwueme and Ihuoma insist to go on with their wedding preparation, something that causes the death of Ekwueme. Let's now consider the major characters in the novel, starting with Ihuoma. Ihuoma is the main character and wife of Emenike. Ihuoma is Emenike's 32-year-old wife, married to him for 6 years. Before her marriage and move to Omokachi, she lived in the nearby village of Omigwe, where her parents, Obuji and Okachi, still reside. She is a caring woman. She spends the majority of her time caring for her 3 children and her husband. She showed great devotion to her husband in every way she could think of. Even when he was sick, she prepared dish after dish and tempted him. She also took care of Ekwueme until he fully recovered. She is pretty and beautiful, but not arrogant. Ihuoma is a beautiful and attractive lady whose beauty calls for attention and admiration for all in the village. Despite her beauty, she gracefully conducts herself in her duties of housekeeping and shows no arrogance. Ihuoma is sympathetic, supportive, gentle, and reserved. Ihuoma was not hesitant to show her sympathy when it was needed. She offered to help in any possible way to see to it that someone's life is restored to normal. She agrees to arrange a make-believe marriage with Ekwueme if that was the only option available, and it worked. Speaking to Wigbe, she says, "You don't know how sorry I feel about the whole thing. I wish I could help you even more." She is very intelligent. She will assess any situation before agreeing to take part in it. After her husband's death, she refuses many men who woo her for marriage, considering the distress and shame she is going to cause to the village. She is a good advisor and peacemaker. She offered to advise other women, especially when they were in conflict. She herself avoided any serious quarrel with other women 6 years of her marriage. The author says she found herself settling quarrels and offering advice to older women. She has a firm stand. After the death of her husband, there is a high pressure mounting for her mother and other men from the village proposing her for marriage. She refuses to get married to any man as a way of making her forget about her late husband. She tells her mother, "If you mean that I should get a lover, then let us discuss something else because I won't." She is a widow. Ihuoma is left a lonely widow with her husband Emenike. The final chapter of the book reveals that her widowhood is predestined by the Sea King, who becomes jealous of any man who loves her, killing the man and leaving her a widow forever, alone on earth. She is believed to be a goddess. Ihuoma is believed to be a goddess, that is, the wife of a sea king, the ruling spirit of the king, who sought the company of human beings against the advice of her husband and was incarnated. That is why she is quite right in everything. That is, she is almost perfect. Let's now move to discuss Emenike. He is Ihuoma's first husband, well respected in Imokachi as the ideal young man because of his striking appearance and intelligence. He is a handsome young man. Apart from being an ideal young man, he was well formed, a favorite with the girls. He is an average but lucky wrestler. While he was an average wrestler, he had a devil's luck of throwing people in a spectacular way, which onlookers remembered long afterwards. He is involved in a land clash with Madume. During a journey through the forest near the village, he encounters Madume, a man he had recently quarreled with over the rights to the piece of land. He wrestles with Madume, but Madume shares bulk overpowers Emenike, who is thrown against a tree stump and seriously injured. He survives, only to die of lectures days after. Let's now move to discuss Madume. He is the husband of Wolu and a father of 4 daughters. He is gender stereotypical. He fathered 4 girls with Wolu, but he used to call them Wolu's children because they were girls. He even thought of using his daughter's dowry to marry another wife who will bear him a baby boy. He is big-eyed, that is to say, he is unsatisfied. One of the things that the villagers didn't like about Madume was that he was never satisfied with a share of anything that comes his way. He is a dishonest land grabber. He first quarreled with Emenike over a piece of land which belonged to Emenike. After Emenike's death, he also quarreled with Ihuoma over the same piece of land. Madume is quarrelsome. Madume was constantly quarreling with people in the village over lands, palm wine trees, plantain trees, and other such things. He is jealous. He hated Emenike just because he managed to marry Ihuoma, the most desirable girl from Omibe that he loved. Also, he hated Emenike since old men cited Emenike as an ideal young man. Madume is hot-tempered and cruel to his family. He is very cruel to his children and harasses both his wife and children. Even after losing his sight, he was still harsh to his wife. Madume is lazy and unsuccessful. By the time he reaches his early 30s, he had no noticeable achievement to brag about. He had a small compound with only 2 houses because he hated touching them in rainy seasons. His actions become his downfall. Soon after his confrontation with Ihuoma on the land he wrongly considers his own, he is blinded by a spitting cobra and shamed in the eyes of the villagers. In response to his loss of vision, he hangs himself. Let's now discuss the character of Ekwueme. He is the son of Wigbe and Adaku. He was an only child for almost 12 years. Being the only child, he was well taken care of and given the required attention of the only child until Wigbe accused Adaku of trying to make a woman out of a man. He is shy of girls. Ekwueme was shy of girls, and he had a hard time to express his feelings to Ihuoma. He is a singer. He is a reputed singer who sings along Wakiri, Adiele the drum beater, Mma the drummer. He is a very hard-working young man. Ekwueme was hard-working, dutiful, and a sensible young man, which is why, among other reasons, his father Wigbe loved and respected him. He has true love and a firm stand. Ekwueme shows strong conviction of love to Ihuoma and was not easily moved. Although he was forcibly married to Ahulore, a girl he was betrothed to since childhood, his love for Ihuoma grew day by day, and he died for it. He was betrothed to Ahulore at the age of 5. Ekwueme was engaged to Ahulore when she was 8 days old, and he was about 5 years old. Ahulore later turned out to be an overly emotional and often irrational mate, making him unhappy in his marriage, until Ahulore administers a love potion that drives him into passivity and then to the brink of insanity. He is an animal trapper and hunter. He is an accomplished trapper and is well liked in Omokachi. He traps animals and supplies the meat to his family and his friends. Let's now discuss the character of Wigbe. Wigbe is the father of Ekwueme and Adaku's husband, living at Omokachi village. He is a traditionalist. He betrothed his son to Ahulore when his son was only 5 years old and worked hard to make the marriage negotiation that were to take a year to last in 6 months. He did so partly because he was suspicious Ekwueme would marry Ihuoma instead, and it was an abomination to break the childhood engagement. He is superstitious. He believes in the power of witch doctors like Ayinka and Agboturumbe, and he consulted them whenever he had issues to be sorted out. He is remorseful and apologetic. After Ihuoma had given a hand of cooperation to ensure that Ekwueme's mental health was fully recovered, he apologized for his recent rudeness and felt full of remorse. He has a thankful heart. He appreciated the services rendered by Ihuoma and thought of how to reward her, but he ended up saying, "Thank you, my daughter. The gods will reward you." Let's now move to the character of Ayinka. He is the medicine man or the Dibia who said he came from Eluani and is believed to be the mediator between the villagers and the spirit world. He is superstitious. He believes in the powers of the spirits and their influence on human life. For example, he tells Madume that his injury at Ihuoma's compound was as a result of the sea spirit that had sworn to kill him there, and said Emenike's father was among them. He knows the ways of the village gods, and the villagers consult him for rituals and healings or for appeasement. He recognizes Ihuoma's spiritual origin and predicts the fate of the young men who loved her. In a way, he is an honest and sympathetic witch doctor. He, for instance, rejected Ahulore's proposal to administer a love potion to her husband because he knew it had side effects on men. He says, "I am sure you have seen active and intelligent men suddenly become passive, stupid, and dependent. That is what a love potion can do. So go and settle your differences with your husband peacefully. If you insist, then you must go somewhere else." Also sympathizing with Wigwe, he offered to pay for them the 2 manilas required for their divination to work, since they had paid so much in the past. Wakiri, the Mokacha village singer who provides comic relief to Ihuoma, Ekwueme, and other villagers by telling jokes. A gentle character accompanies his wit. He helps Ihuoma to take care of affairs after Emenike's death. He also provides Ekwueme with advice and support. Nnamdi is Emenike's brother and protector of Ihuoma after her husband's death. He defends her honor and aids in maintenance of her home and lands. Wagbara, he is the father of Ihuoma and Wanume's husband, who lives in Omigbe village. He is a traditionalist as he betrothed his daughter to Ekwueme when she was only 8 days old. He is also a polygamist with 2 wives, Wanuma, Ahulore's mother, and Aleruchi, and he has kept a timetable for his wives to feed him. Wanuma, she's Ahulore's mother and Wagbara's senior wife. She is superstitious as she believes that a love potion will make Ahulore win her husband's heart. She ends up breaking her daughter's marriage with her witchcraft, sending it to a devastating end. Let's now consider the major themes of the novel. First, we come across the theme of love, the theme of superstition, the theme of faith, the theme of marriage, the theme of death. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.